So pursuant to Chapter 20 of Acts of 2021, certain COVID-19 protection measures were extended as they relate to MGL Chapter 30A, Section 20 of the Open Meeting Law. This meeting of the City of Westfield Conservation Commission will be conducted via remote participation. Specific information can be found on the City of Westfield website, www.cityofwestfield.org. For this meeting, members of the public who wish to listen to the meeting may do so by tuning into Channel 15 or Channel 12 or online at westfieldtv.org or online at youtube.com/Westfield Community Programming Channel. No in-person attendance of members of the public will be permitted, but every effort will be made to ensure that the public can adequately access the proceedings in real time via technological means. In the event that we're unable to do so, despite best efforts, we'll post on the city's website an audio recording, transcript, or other comprehensive record of the proceedings as soon as possible after the meeting. Okay, so we have a roll call. Mark,
I'm here.
Tom,
Yes.
Bob,
Yes.
Lauren,
Yes.
Alex,
Yes.
and I'm here. And again, Jim is absent tonight. Would anyone like to address the commission on any item not on the agenda? Seeing none. Item 3, public hearings. A 70 Turnpike Industrial Road. And this is the James Hardy Building Products, local ordinance only. Continue from February 8, 2022. And we did conduct a site visit. Carl and Lauren were there with Ryan Nelson. And I guess there are some comments that he'd like to address. And then we did receive the ENF environmental notification form certificate from RLA, and it was again approved by the state. So, Ryan, the floor is yours.
Hey, hello everyone. Ryan Nelson from R. Levesque Associates. If I could please share my screen, I think I have to be enabled. Thank you. Let's give everyone a brief recap. This is the proposed building addition at 70 Industrial Turnpike. It involved a roughly 56,630 square foot building addition to the northwesterly side of the existing building. There was additional access drives proposed for truck turnaround, some slope regrading, a stormwater basin, as well as a railroad spur over here on the south side of the building. The only work that was within conservation jurisdiction is a portion of pavement expansion related to the truck drive aisle, and that's within the 100-foot buffer zone to an upgradient intermittent stream, which is regulated only under the City of Westfield Local Wetlands Ordinance and not the State Wetlands Protection Act. I believe at the last meeting, my coworker, John T., he forwarded to me, you guys were looking for a comparison of impervious in that outer buffer zone. So I think last week or so, we had submitted this diagram showing existing conditions of how much pavement or impervious in the red, so that would be existing pavement and a corner of the building, is located within that 100-foot buffer zone. And then under proposed conditions, what the additional pavement would look like. So we're going from about 3,450 square feet of existing impervious to 5,540 square feet of impervious under proposed conditions within the buffer zone. During the site visit, you could see that the silt fence will follow generally along the top of the slope in that area near that drainage outfall. So that slope will not be disturbed, but as you head west, north in a northwest direction, that slope will be filled and tapered, so it's actually less steep than current conditions. So that's zoom in here. That would be this regraded slope here, and that would be a 2-to-1 with erosion control mats installed after finish grades are achieved, and only this section here is in the buffer zone. And all remaining work will stay outside of riverfront area and the buffer zones.
So Ryan, what are the implications of an extra 1,000 square feet of impervious? What do you expect to happen as a result of that? Anything?
I mean, that's such a de minimis change if you look at the whole site in terms of stormwater management. All of that impervious over here is going to be routed to a catch basin. So none of that is contributing to this watershed or to that slope in that area.
Okay, thanks.
Ryan, I was impressed with the details in that ENF report and the number of state agencies that had the opportunity to respond to the application. And I think it was the Department of Transportation that remarked that it was a good idea extending that railroad spur so that you could reduce the truck traffic in that area. Do you have an idea of what, how much truck traffic is actually going to be reduced because of the railroad spur?
I'm not sure. Maybe the applicant has looked into that, but that wasn't part of our scope.
Okay.
Ryan, why was there such interest in the ENF? On our typical projects, at least the ones, I'll call normal, we don't hear from them.
So you have to trigger a certain threshold in terms of either land disturbance or amount of impervious or number of traffic trip increases. And those are usually large scale projects that are far and few between in terms of our normal projects that you guys see or that we work on. We've done a couple others, but they're not that common.
Yep. What are the triggers here?
Give me 1 second here. Another firm is the one that prepared it. Let me just double check, reference that.
I think perhaps the size of the building may be one. It's 36,000 square feet. It's huge. Yeah. Other questions while he's searching for that?
I did sort of to piggyback on what you said, David. Number 4 asked them to identify the snow storage locations. I was just wondering if Ryan could help us out with that.
Sure. Plans back up.
Was something that I didn't think about to ask when we were on the site visit.
Of course, Carl, that's an internal document. What David was talking about was the state document, if I understood him, the ENF.
So is the question, where will snow be stored?
Yeah, I was just curious about that.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know if we have that nailed down, but there's plenty of room to the north to put it. I don't know operation wise if these interior areas are going to be used, but it certainly won't be pushed over the slope, and I would recommend that be a condition. But there's plenty of room to the north and to the center, and we're talking acres of room.
Okay.
Ryan, have you seen Mark Crissati's memo to RLA?
I have not seen that, no.
Oh, that's a shame.
It was the stormwater permit preview, Ryan.
Let me see if I can find that.
I think I was on the same email as you were, so I think you got it. At least I think you were.
Let me check.
Oh, I apologize. You were not on that one.
Yeah, I just checked my email. I didn't see it, but if there's anything in particular that stood out to you guys, happy to try and answer it.
Yeah, there's a lot in particular on it that I think needs to be addressed before we can make a decision, Ryan.
Okay,
It's a-
yeah, I haven't seen it.
It looks like it went to Philippe maybe, because it's addressed to Philippe.
Okay,
Do you want me to, I can forward it to you right now, just so that you can see when you're ready?
sure, that would be helpful. Thank you.
All right, there we go. I just forwarded it to you, so.
Okay, so yeah, we'll have to address these. Looks mostly stormwater related.
Hi, sorry to interrupt. Is this the Westfield Conservation Commission meeting?
Yes?
Yes,
Oh, okay, thanks.
Colleen, I don't think I got a copy of that report.
okay. I will email it to you too.
You sent it to everybody.
Okay, I will do that right now.
So there's concerns that need to be addressed before we close the meeting.
Okay, yep, we'll review these and we'll revise as necessary.
Okay. I know one thing you noted out at the site was that you would like to do the tree clearing before you put up the stormwater or the erosion controls. And that seems fine. We'll put that into conditions when we get to that. But I think we would like you, as we talked about at the site, perhaps indicate exactly the edge of where the work is going to be, for the foresters, so they don't cut too far into the wetland.
Absolutely, yes. I think the limit of work would be staked out based on our plans.
All right.
That way they know where the boundary to cut the trees will be.
I know they're outside our jurisdiction, but we're talking about a ton of trees, yes?
Yes. But
That
again,
always kills me.
it is outside our jurisdiction. I know we're putting you on the spot, Ryan, but you think it's possible to address the city engineer's concerns, prior to the next meeting?
Yes.
Okay. All right, thank you. Any other questions from the commission?
Hi, how are you? Sorry. Hi.
Okay,
My name is Oscar Naula. I was in this meeting, but I am putting a new septic on 240
Oscar, your meeting is up next.
Oh, it's a next. Oh, okay.
Yes, you're up
Okay.
next. You have nothing to do with this one. So
Okay.
give us just a minute, okay?
So I'm keeping here. They say.
Yes, stay here. Stay here. Don't leave yet.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I'll give you a motion that we continue the 70 Turnpike Industrial Road discussion until our next meeting.
Yeah,
March
3/8.
8th.
Yeah, March 8th. Have a second.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? Seeing none. You please, oh, there you go. Thanks, Ryan. All in favor? Bob,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Carl,
Yes.
Lauren.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I'll vote yes. So, okay, thanks, Ryan. We'll see you in 2 weeks then.
Okay, thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Right.
Okay, item 4, public meetings, RDAs. 240 Russellville Road, installation of a new septic system. So in accordance with provisions of Massachusetts general laws, chapter 131, section 40, a public meeting will be held on February 22nd, 2022 at 6:30 PM by virtual meeting regarding a request for determination of applicability submitted by Oscar Naula for the installation of a new septic system in the buffer zone. The work that is proposed is subject to jurisdiction of the Wetlands Protection Act and the Westfield Wetlands Ordinance. The location is at 240 Russellville Road in Westfield. We have looked at this site years ago for another project, and it is next door to the place where the city DPW actually put in that new drainage to try to keep ice and water off of the roads. Okay.
Can I
Oscar.
share my screen?
Yes, go ahead, Colleen. Thank you.
Um, hang on a second. Share. Okay, is it sharing?
Okay,
And I'm sorry, I can't turn it. I apologize for it being kind of sideways.
okay. All right. So again, there's an existing house,
Right there.
okay, and again, the septic system is right there.
This is hard on my neck.
And the outfall that was put in years ago, but that's the one that the city connected their new pipe to right there.
Right here.
Yep. So, yeah, we did look at this site years ago. I think Tom and Carl for a project higher up in the back. But can you show us the 50-foot and the 100-foot, Colleen, if you can?
Okay, so let's see. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. I'm sorry, I can't remember because the issue is, I think that this is it right here. That's the 100, but I was concerned because we have this here, the whole project was in an enforcement.
Right.
Because they had torn down a bunch of trees in this area, and then this is a permanent, it says on the plans in the enforcement that this would be a permanent, like low spot for water to settle.
Okay.
And they're putting the septic system here. And Oscar, it's going to be a raised one. Am I correct?
Yeah, yes, I think so. Yeah, they told me it's gonna be raised one. Yeah,
Right. So there was,
expensive one.
so that was my concern, and they're doing it, they're putting it here because they have to, because the well, it has to be 100 foot away from the wells. And it's 100 foot away from this well, 100 foot away from this well, and then they didn't know across the street where that guy's well was.
Okay.
So I just had some concerns. And why is it not showing on this plan where the 50 foot is?
I think on the older plans from the previous project, that was identified.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I didn't download that one, David. I'm sorry about that.
Well, we can, when we have a site visit, we can bring it out to the site with us.
Right, right.
I
And I
think we
can-
probably should have a site visit because it's proximity close to the road, close to that outfall and close to the wetland.
What's the situation here? Do we know? Has the septic system failed?
Well, that
Why are
house was
we-
abandoned for a long period of time.
Right.
Yeah.
Oscar. Do you want,
Yes, I am here.
go ahead and explain to Commissioner Sharp what's going on with the house.
Actually, I don't know much about this because the engineer, all of those guys helped me with this. I was thinking it's gonna be easy because it was a house, it was an existing one there. The only thing it was, it was all of this, so that's why I decided to do a new one. And then the engineer, everything they make, everything, the plans, everything, and we take so long to do that one, about like almost 1 year, and then now I get a contractor to go there, and then I just find out, about this problem with the commission, and I want you guys just please help me, because it's like an year, 1 year, and then I pay expenses, I pay taxes, I pay these things, please, I want help with that. Because I already get the contract already get the machines over there, and then the conservation told me, but I didn't know that, but I just want you guys to help me, and it was a house already there, you know what I mean?
Right, but Oscar, is the house empty now?
Yeah, the house is empty. Nobody's
Okay,
there.
and so the reason you need a new septic is because the septic failed the Title V, correct?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. All right. Does that answer your question, Tom?
It does. The house is
Okay.
not occupied.
Right.
So Oscar, we just need to be sure that the septic system, conforms to, our jurisdiction of the wetlands, the resource areas and the buffer zone. So that's why, we have an interest in it. So I think we need to go out for a site visit just to make sure we know everything is. And then, bring this up again at our next meeting.
David, someone in the city gave this guy a permit, yes? Someone allowed him to bring in those big earth moving machines that we saw. Why, whoever from the city, why did they not check with us? Why do they not pull up a map and see wetlands? I know I'm asking a rhetorical question, but it's very frustrating. And we don't seem to.
Approved by the health department, right, Colleen?
I believe it was, Oscar, the health department gave you a permit for this, correct?
The permit in the health department, he went there, to see there, but I don't know if he gives the permits, because I don't know if he gives the permits to go there or not, but he went there already. He went
Okay.
a long time ago, and then I just.
Okay, I'll check with the health department and see if the permit was issued.
I mean, they can't do any digging until the permit is issued from the
Right.
health department.
Yeah, you wouldn't think the contractor would take that kind of responsibility on his own without a permit.
Right. Okay.
But again, my frustration lies with the permitters,
Right.
with us, with the city.
All right. So let's do a site visit, and then Colleen, you can check on the health department,
Yep,
and we can go
And-
from there.
yeah, and I'll let you guys know.
All right.
And
Thank you.
Colleen, can you ask health department if they do call you or if they do think about wetlands when they issue?
I will ask them. I
Thank you.
will ask them.
Oh, wow. Sorry to keep bothering you. How long you think it's gonna take this one? Because when I get those plans, I take to the city, right? They give you a permit to, how I say, I take to there and then, they stamp, everything is okay. And then now, so I don't understand that.
Well,
Are-
once the health department gives its okay, and we give our okay, then you can start.
Okay, please, I really need it more than a year. And I take the plans, I take to the city because I have it here. It's a stamp. They allow to, and I don't know, I don't know what I do it.
The city stamped it?
Yeah, I take the plans over there. They allowed to do this one, already.
All right, so Colin, you can check that for us.
I will definitely check. Oscar, unfortunately, sometimes the other departments don't always know what all the permitting is needed for different properties. So it's not your fault. It's not anybody's fault that this happened. It just so happened that your property has wetlands on it, and we need to make sure that the permits are correct because of the state. We have to follow the state laws. So that's why we have to make sure that everything is out of the wetlands and that you're doing everything correctly, because the state we don't want the state to come after you. That's what we're avoiding.
Yeah, I understand that, but please, it's like in a year, and then I do everything. I take the plans, I take to the city. I try to do everything. You know what I mean? So I don't want to keep him take more time, and I'm paying for has expenses.
Well,
Right, and we understand that. We do understand that.
Okay.
But unfortunately, we do have to follow state laws and the state permitting processes and everything. So unfortunately, we have to go for a site visit, and we have to make sure that everything is perfect on the property before we can let you continue.
Please, I don't know who has to do that one, but I would like you to, little hurry up for me, please. Because
yes, we will.
I want to move there,
We'll contact you about when we go out there. It would be, within a week or so, or a couple weeks at the low.
Yeah, it'll be next week. I'll be contacting you about when they can come out there.
Please.
And then you would be on our next meeting, and hopefully everything will be great and we can pass it at our next meeting, hopefully.
All right.
Yeah, I would like that too, because I keep waiting a year, and then still I didn't know that. I said, wow, if I knew that from the beginning, I just get away, for that.
Right.
Gosh.
Okay,
Right.
thank you.
Okay.
Thank you too. Thank you for having me.
Okay.
All right.
Any
I'll contact you next week. Okay.
Any other comments or questions from the commission? Any comments or questions from anyone in the audience concerning this particular project? Seeing none, entertain a motion to continue to March 8th.
I'll make that motion.
Okay,
All right, have a second?
I'll second it.
All right, any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Bob,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Carl,
Yes.
Lauren,
Yes.
Alex,
Yes.
and I'll vote yes as well. Thank you. So Colin, you can arrange a site visit.
I will. I will.
Thank you. All right, item 5, enforcement. 300 Union Street. Ryan is asking for an extension until the ground thaws.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Any other comments, Ryan?
Not really. The applicant engaged us with a contract to do the work. Due to kind of the disturbance, I'd like to see the soils to accurately delineate it. So we're kind of on hold until the ground thaws.
Okay, thank you. So let's have a motion to extend that until the ground thaws. Okay.
So moved.
All right, second.
I'll second it.
All right, any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Bob,
Yes.
Carl,
Yes.
Lauren,
Yes.
Alex,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
and I'll vote yes as well. Thank you, Ryan. Item B, 33 Castle Hill Road. Again,
This wasn't, he didn't ask for an extension, but I was like, I don't know that we wanted him to come forward on March, at our first meeting in March. Do we want to wait until the ground thaws before we have him start doing anything, or do we want him to start in March?
I think
We might,
ground thaws, we can begin to see where the wetlands plants are starting to grow. And we can see the edge of the wetland.
Yeah.
How's that for the commission?
I've forgotten the issue here. What's the issue?
This
See,
is the
disturbing.
very steep slope behind a house on Castle Hill Road, where we put the matting down. He had a
Yeah,
huge
yeah,
amount of
okay.
erosion and he filled in a lot of it. So it's very, very steep right now. And
I
it's
think
got-
it's a little early, David, that the 1st of March, that's only a week away. That's all.
No, I said till the ground thaws.
I would say put it off for a few weeks, till
Okay.
mid-March at least.
All right.
Until we see our first chipmunk of the season. That's what I think. We should put it off till then.
How about robins, Tom?
No, you'll see your chipmunks very soon, I would think.
All right, let's revisit this in our next meeting and go from there. So,
At the next meeting?
yeah,
Okay.
see how it goes.
Had we asked them to get a consultant too?
Did we ask them? I would have to look that up.
I
I
believe
have to
you
look
did.
that up.
I thought
I
it got
believe
to
you
the
did.
point, yeah, where we said the erosion's pretty bad and it's a steep slope and we wanted a professional opinion to make sure it didn't continue.
All right,
But
we'll check on that and then we can reinforce that with the applicant. With
Okay.
him.
because if we did, then obviously we'd want them getting somebody signed up now. But yes, I agree, we don't want any work happening until later.
Right. Okay.
All right, so.
All right. I'll
so-
check on the consultant.
Okay. All right, so a motion to extend this at least till the next meeting, if not further.
So moved.
All right, have a second.
Second, Carl.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor. Tom,
Yes.
Bob,
Yes.
Lauren,
Yes.
Carl,
Yes.
Alex.
Yes.
Okay, item 6, discussion. 62 South Meadow Road. Violation letter. Okay.
This was just, I just wanted to let you guys know that the gentleman has actually contacted me. He's thinking he might want to file an RDA or NOI because he might want to change the grading in his yard slightly. Because how his yard is graded, it's graded so that the water's going right into his basement.
Okay,
So, so he's probably thinking about filing an NOI with us. I did want to let you know that he had contacted me because we did send him a letter, so.
all right,
That's all.
thank you. Thank you. All right, then item B. 81 Fowler Road. Revisions to the site layout. Ryan, you're up again.
Yes, hello again. I believe my screen sharing has to be enabled again.
Alex, remember this one?
I do.
Alrighty.
I
We
do,
spent
Mr.
about 3
Sheriff.
months talking this one.
Yes, everyone remembers this one.
Yeah.
So I've met with the applicant, Mr. Pastor Wally. He's looking to get the project going, but he wanted to make one change. And that was previously we were orientating the house on the kind of the north side or the right-hand side. And it occurred to him that the sun comes from the south side and he'd rather have his house on the south side with the garage on the north. So we flip-flopped the layouts. Previously, the garage was on this side and the house was over here. So we've just switched the two. The limit of work has stayed the same. All the conservation monuments and the things we've discussed, none of that has changed. We're just changing the orientation of the house within that footprint.
How does he access the garage from the road?
Yeah.
And that would have changed, right?
Yeah, so yeah, the driveway location, I guess, did shift from over here to here.
So is the driveway closer to the brook? There's a brook over to that right-hand side.
Yes, the driveway would be closer by maybe 15 feet or so, 20 feet.
Ryan, I'm sorry, I don't see the new driveway. Is that on this drawing?
Yep. So this garage is on the right, so there's, having trouble zooming in. Let's see. So this would be the edge of the driveway, this line right here.
All right, that's still outside the 50?
Yes, the 50 is this darker line here.
Okay. And the house is being elevated a foot and a half from
Yes,
what it was before?
yep, we raised it a foot and a half.
Okay.
Has the shape of that house changed? It looks a little bit different from the one that we'd seen before.
Yes, it's changed a little bit. I think it went up like not even 150 square feet. It's not set in stone yet because of this weird setback. He's still finalizing things with the architect, but we're striving for a layout of something like this shape.
So
The-
Ryan,
Mhm.
I'm sorry, Bob, did I interrupt you?
No, Jim, the placement of the septic is still gonna be in the same spot with this change?
We moved it like 2 feet with this change, but it's generally the same. We moved the leach field, I should say, farther away.
Ryan, can you take your cursor and show me the 50-foot
Mhm.
boundary? Should I be worried that we now have a driveway instead of a lawn close to the resource area?
Well, it's still outside the 50,
But inside 100, yeah,
inside the 100, but in the garage is inside the 100 too, so,
yeah. Half the house is.
yeah.
That this was, I didn't, yeah. Ryan, should I be concerned with a driveway versus a front lawn?
I mean, in my opinion, it's within the same existing field. If you're shifting it 15, 20 feet closer to the stream, I'm not sure what impact that would have.
Yeah, I'm not either, I
really-
guess.
Don't really think it would change much, practically speaking.
Nor do I.
Oh, Ryan, was that retaining wall in the original plan?
No, so that's an effort to keep grading outside of the 50. He
Okay.
could have a slope that drops off, but that would probably be a little unsightly. So this is a relatively short wall. It'd be 3.5 feet at the highest where the garage, and that would taper down, feathering to grade at the street.
Okay.
Ryan, you started off by saying you were just flip-flopping the house with the garage, but upon the commissioners asking questions, there's actually 4, maybe more changes to this drawing. Are there 5, 6, and 7 that we have not noticed?
No, I apologize if I oversimplified, but what I meant, I guess what I'm intending to say is the limit of work hasn't changed. In my mind, these are minor changes within the existing limit of work.
Yeah, I was out there. I don't remember any conversation about a retaining wall. But that's like, you, Tom, you were there.
I don't either. I don't have a problem with it. I think it's
No,
probably
I
a
just
good
didn't- I
thing.
don't remember any. Is that because of the raising of the elevation of the proposed new home site?
No, so because we flipped the garage to this side, before we were tying in the contours just to the side of the house, and there was a higher exposed foundation on the right-hand side of the house. We can't do that because there's a driveway on that side now. So we have to keep grade up to meet the floor of the structure.
Ryan, was there always a deck behind the home and the garage?
I don't think one was shown on the last one, so that's still tentative too.
Yeah.
He hasn't decided if that will occur or yet.
Yeah, I don't remember that, Tom, either.
Yeah, this is a whole different, a whole different ball of works. Do we
Is it-
have the authority to just okey dokey it tonight? Or should we ask?
This is a request for an amended order of conditions. So he already has a permit. He could proceed as is, but we're proposing these amendments. If you guys think it warrants a new notice of intent, which I don't think it does, but that's your discretion.
I think it deserves a list of the amendments. I mean,
Mhm.
I was being a little facetious before, but now the deck pops out at me. There's a lot of changes here. I don't think a new NOI is necessary, but wouldn't it be nice if you or the Reverend told us, here's change 1, change 2, change 3, change 4, change 5, change 6.
That's why we're here tonight.
I would like to, yeah, but we're pulling it out of you, man. I'd like to see it on a piece of paper so that we're very clear what we're approving, what we're amending.
In the back where the deck area was, remember we were talking about just like limbing up those trees and not removing them, Tom? Do you recall that conversation?
I do, and he snuck even closer to the 50-foot line with that.
The limit of work has not changed. We are proposing the same as it was before.
Yeah, but that deck was never there. There was never a discussion of the deck, never discussion of the garage getting flipped around. That's all. Tom's right. Just everything is different from what we went out and saw. To what it
Right.
is now.
This is a proposed revision. That's why we're before
Okay.
you tonight. That's why it's different. Yes.
Well,
It's not the same site visit that we saw. That's all.
Correct.
Bob and Tom, you want to go back out there and look at it again?
After I see a list of what's been changed, sure.
Yeah, I'm good with it.
Okay. I think, Ryan, there's enough of a concern about, changes, especially the retaining wall and the deck, that we need to look at the property again.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Ryan.
Yes,
Sure.
thank you.
Any other questions? So Colleen, we'll have another site visit out that place. Okay, thank you.
I'll make arrangements.
Yeah. And Ryan, can you stake out where the house is going to be in the garage? And the
Yes.
retaining wall?
Yes. Is there a possibility that could also double as a pre-construction site visit?
To
If
my
not-
mind, anyway, it needs to be just a site visit. But that's my opinion.
Yeah, those are two different purposes, unfortunately, so.
Okay.
Okay. And after we approve the orders, there's still going to be a waiting period. You can do the pre-construction meeting then. Okay, any further questions?
I do have a question. Is there a waiting period on an amendment? The waiting period I thought already lapsed.
Okay. Oh, okay.
And this is actually listed as discussion, Ryan. Have you filed something more formal with us?
No, we're just discussing it right now.
So during discussion, we have the authority, that's the right procedure to use to make changes to an NOI?
Yes.
Right, it's already been approved by the commission.
But wouldn't we want to give neighbors and citizens a chance to
So Tom, they're not
understand?
asking, we can't reopen, we can't like reopen an NOI and issue a new NOI. We closed it. We can deem changes to be minor and allow them to proceed. That's what they're asking. So they're asking on the basis of having the same limit of work, if we agree that the changes as presented are minor. If we agree, then we've cleared them. If we disagree, they can either build the original permit or tear it up and start over.
And
That's
this
kind
can
of
be,
the pathway.
right, and it can be done as a discussion item.
we're discussing whether we consider them minor. We're allowed to allow minor deviations.
Yeah.
So
Do you-
that's the threshold, is if we as a commission decide it's minor, and that can be done in this manner.
Yep,
If
I
not,
value-
then it would be public, as you're pointing out.
I certainly value your opinion, Alex. Do you consider these changes to be minor?
I guess if we haven't changed the proximity to that wetland, I'm not that concerned, because the overall impacts aren't that different. I think the retaining wall helps actually with the driveway, because the driveway getting close to the wetland is a little bit of a change. But with the retaining wall there and having a clear kind of definition of that paved surface going away from the wetland and then naturalized area heading towards the wetland, I'm more comfortable with it. I wish it didn't come out piecemeal like it did this evening, but I don't think Ryan intended to try to downplay it. I think it's just, that's how it came out this evening. But yeah, it would have been nice to kind of have the bullet list of here's all the actual changes, which is why I didn't pipe up and really say anything, because I didn't mind the line of questioning in this case.
Thank you, Alex. Ryan, are you bringing in additional dirt as part of these changes? Are we bringing the house, is the elevation going to be higher?
Yes, there, as before, there would be fill around the house except for the north side, close to the 50-foot buffer, but these proposed contour lines are all fill.
So the fill has not changed, or will there be additional fill?
I didn't run the calcs to see if the volume changed. It's more of a reconfiguration because the driveway was sloping up over here, now it's over here. I didn't run any volume comparisons on that.
I would be curious to have that data also. If it's not, I think that's a fair request.
May I ask what that would affect? How would that
Drainage?
be?
I'm specifically thinking of drainage. I'm thinking if you build up there, you're going to impact the wetland to the right. You're gonna
It
water.
all flows to the, we're maintaining the same drainage patterns. It flows to the north to the wetlands, and under proposed conditions, it's going to flow to the north to the wetlands.
Okay,
I'm happy to do it. I'm just trying to save the applicant unnecessary expense.
Sure. Well,
yep,
I mean, can you
that's
give
your
us
job.
I think enough of the commissioners would like to go back out there. And can you give us an itemized list of exactly
Sure.
every change?
Yep, absolutely.
Thank you. And then we can,
I'll make a motion if you're ready, David, that we continue until March 8th.
all right, thank you. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Okay, Alex,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes,
Bob,
Yes.
Lauren,
Yes.
Carl,
Yes.
and I'll vote yes. Bob, you disappeared. I don't see you anymore.
I'm still here though, David.
Okay, all right. All right, item 7, minutes. To have a motion to approve the minutes of February 8th, 2022.
And I did add Tom to all those votes, just so you know. For some reason, I have no idea what happened. I don't know.
I told Colleen she ghosted me.
There was a silent voter. Do you have a second?
Yes, I'll second that.
Okay. Any additions or corrections other than what has been stated already? Seeing none, all in favor? Alex?
Abstain, I wasn't present.
Okay. Tom?
Yes to the
Carl?
minutes.
Yes.
Lauren?
Abstain as well.
Okay, Bob?
Yes.
And I'll vote yes as well. Thank you. All right, item 8, commission discussion, regulations and procedures. I think there's nothing there. In-person meetings. Again, City Hall is opened up again. What is your pleasure? I know the city council is still meeting via Zoom. At least they did this past Thursday.
I'm indifferent. I mean, I'm going back to the office. I am back in the office, but this is convenient as well. So I don't feel, I think the concern we talked about last time was public access, and we've had good public participation during this time.
Right.
So I don't think we feel we're hindering that. And I don't believe we've heard otherwise from people, we've got some active voices from the public. I don't think we've gotten that comment that they're hearing from folks that feel they're restricted. So I'm comfortable either way.
I like this. So, I mean, the meeting room we meet in is rather small, and, people are really close together in there. It's really difficult to spread her out. So.
The only feedback I've gotten about this format has been positive, actually. So I think it does work.
I mean, it's easier for people in
With
the
my
audience.
other hat, I wish this will continue from the other side of the table, because then I'm not driving to the other side of the state for a meeting, So I know it's appreciated from that side, from that perspective, but that's it. That's neither here nor there.
Sure. Okay. Well, let's keep
David,
it.
I think you were going to make the point that you made before, is that we had heard positive about Zoom meetings in that people were able to see documents, see
Right.
maps, see site maps that they can't see if they're sitting in folding chairs off in the corner, off in the back of the meeting room. I'm
Right. Well, thank you very much. Okay. So we'll keep it this way. Okay. Item C, wetlands ordinance update. I haven't heard back from City Hall, but it was supposed to be the second reading this past Thursday. You haven't heard anything, Colleen?
I haven't.
Okay.
So, I mean, it might have gone through on Thursday, but I didn't get a chance to listen to the meeting. So I'll re-listen to it.
Okay.
Or, give it a chance.
All right.
So-
Thank you. Okay.
Would we expect Councilor Mello to give us that feedback as the chair of the Natural Resources Subcommittee?
I would hope so. Or
Because she's the sponsor of
Yeah.
it, right?
Yeah.
Because it comes through her subcommittee. I mean, Colleen, if rather than you sitting and listening to a meeting, if you want to just ping her with an email and ask for the status update, I think that's appropriate.
I'll send her an email tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do that tomorrow. Okay. Item D, coordinator position. Jim and I met last week, the week before, with Mr. Bishop. There are several applicants that he feels are applicants that we should bring in for interviews. So he's working on those for early March and mid-March. So we'll go from there. He'll be on the committee. Jim and myself and one of the city attorneys will also be sitting in. The screening committee will then pare down the applicants to 2, and the 2 finalists will then be interviewed by the full commission in a public meeting. So that's where we're heading. And we had 3 weeks ago I was concerned, but when we met with him, he had more applications come in with people who had some experience in this area. So we'll see what happens with the interviews. Okay.
Mr. Chair, I just want to reassure Lauren and Bob that this process will be about as awkward as it just sounded. So.
Well, we have to abide by the open meeting law, and that's
we do.
that's how we
Yes.
do it. Yep.
As we learned with just a year and a half ago or 2 years ago. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. So that takes care of D and E. Okay. Anything from the commission?
I'd like to recommend that we send a letter from the commission to Cliff, thanking him for his service to the city. Something formal, something on conservation letterhead.
I'll work on that with Colleen this week.
Thank you, David.
All right, thank you. And I'd like to welcome officially Lauren to the commission. And
Thank you.
Welcome, Lauren.
you'll be getting a big booklet or folder from Colleen, and a membership in the MACC, the Massachusetts Association of Conservation Commissions, and they have a wonderful educational program. They've got an 8-point program for new commissioners to graduate from with a certificate showing that you're an expert now in Wetland Protection Act. So I guess, Carl, you're just finishing that up right now, aren't you?
Right.
Yeah. So, and, hopefully they'll get back to their annual meetings that they used to have every spring at Holy Cross. And it's a wonderful, full day of meetings on a Saturday with lots of vendors and interesting topics of discussion. So I enjoyed going to those when they were being held down there.
And Lauren, you'll also be hosting our summer picnic, but don't worry, because Alex always brings the shrimp.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
That's right.
I'll have to add that Lauren actually was on a site visit before she was officially added to the commission, so she should be commended for that.
Okay.
Wow.
He's also led several beneficial projects that she's been in
That's
front of
right.
us for.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
Mr. Chair, just a point of order from me. I should have recused myself from the first item this evening and will do so in 2 weeks. I didn't contribute though, so I don't feel any true error was committed, but I apologize. It's been a busy couple weeks. I should have picked that up right away.
All right. Thank you. Okay. Entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
A second.
I'll second that.
Okay. All in favor? Carl,
Yes.
Alex,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes,
Bob,
Yes.
Carl, Lauren,
Yes.
anybody.
and I'll vote yes as well. Thank you, everybody.